Hey everybody, this is Strategywizard again. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Uno. Who doesn't know about Uno? Now, Uno is a game that, if you haven't played it, I'd be kind of surprised, and unless you just knew to avoid this, but they like to say, fast fun for everyone. Well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that comment, but here's the thing. It's 2 to 10 players, ages 7 plus. Who even made this? Is this Hasbro or something? I don't know. Golly. Mattel. Oh gosh, that's half the problem right there. Well, Uno is, as most of you surely know, is a pretty simple game. Everyone has a hand of cards. I think you start with 7. And you're going to sit here and take those 7 cards, and there's going to be a card, I believe, boy, I don't even remember this part, but it doesn't really matter so much. A card face up perhaps, and basically whatever card is there, you have to either play, oh, wow, look at all those yellows. You have to either play the same color or the same number, or both if you have such luck. And there's special action cards, someone skips their turn, or you reverse the order of play. There's wonderful cards in here. Let's just see, boy, the wilds. You have wilds, that way you can be any color. And then the real doozy, oh my gosh, a wild draw 4. You make your opponent, not only do you get to play this no matter what, but your opponent has to draw 4 cards. Well, since the point of the game is to, get rid of all your cards, having to draw 4 is huge. But there's also draw 2 cards, which are also pretty devastating. It really messes your opponent up a lot, but it only messes up the person to your left. You can never target someone who's not right over here clockwise following you. So this is one of those games that, it's super quick, thank goodness. And, you're playing those cards, and whenever you get down to 1, the only interesting thing about this game, really, is the fact that if you have 1 card left, you have to say Uno. Otherwise, if someone says, oh, you didn't say Uno, then you have to draw 2 cards or something like that. I mean, my gosh, these wonderful instructions. I'm sure it's in there somewhere, but, to indicate, when you play your next to last card, you must yell Uno, meaning 1. For those who know Spanish especially, to indicate that you have only 1 card left. If you don't yell Uno and you were caught before the next player begins their turn, you must draw 2 cards. That's actually somewhat interesting because it does make it to where you have to be thinking on your feet as you're playing. But apart from that, this game is literally just a matter of, play cards if you can. If you can't, you have to draw. And then so you're either drawing because you can't play or you play. And it's just, there's not really any strategy here. I find this game to be beyond bland, and I understand that some people like it because it's super quick and just ooh, you have to draw 4, ooh, skip your turn. But to me, that is very lackluster in the interesting department. It just doesn't do anything for me because, one, you're only hurting the people to your left. There's no strategy because you either have good cards or you don't, and you play them or you draw. It's that simple. There's the only thing that you ever have to do that's other than just obvious choice of play this card or not. And there might be some rare circumstances where, I guess the one other strategy that you have other than remembering, I gotta say Uno, and trying to keep that on your mind is sometimes, you might be able to switch colors because let's say there's a 1 right here, and let's say you have a 1 of a different color. Boy, I don't even know if I can find one. Boy. It doesn't even matter, does it? Does it even matter? Here. So sometimes you might have a situation like this. There's a yellow 1 down there. I could continue playing, let's say I don't have that yellow 1. I could choose to switch over to red, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense because I have a lot of yellows I still need to play. But if I'm successful at playing all my yellows without anyone switching the colors, I'm stuck with a red 1. So even that choice usually doesn't matter that much. So Uno, I hesitate to even give it much of a score, but I don't know. I don't know what to give it. I guess I'd probably give it a 4. I mean, it's bearable, but it's not something that I would tend to reject playing this. However, there is a game called The Game that has a similar mechanic of trying to get rid of all your cards, but it does it in such a better way. So much better. Because here in the game, now I actually have the expansion to the game, which is On Fire, and that means that these cards get removed, so I'll just put those to the side. But the game, it makes things so fascinating. First of all, it's cooperative, which is already interesting. It's got a theme of, I guess you could say, for those of you who know the Saw movie series, this is like Saw, I guess, is the idea. You're a group of people who have been kidnapped, captured, whatever you want to say, and now you're having to work together to survive whatever contraption or situation this crazy guy has put you in. Now, everyone's going to start off with some cards, and what's particularly important is you'll notice here it says 1 with an up arrow to 99. This is 100 with a down arrow to 2. So what happens is on these 4 stacks that you're going to be building, you have to start low and go high, and here you have to start high and go low. And you want to play, the goal is between all the players, you have to play every single card in the deck if possible. Get as close as you can to playing all the cards. Well, here's the thing. Doing that is no easy task because you can't tell your friends, or maybe they're not friends, maybe they're just some crazy people you're locked up with, but you still want to survive, so you have to work with these crazy people around the table with you. Well, you can't tell them what's in your hand. So in my case, you know, a 93, a 96, and a 94, wow, those are great cards for playing right here, because I could say, because you can play as many cards as you want out of your hand. Now, let's just say I started, and you kind of agree with each other who's going to start first. You might say, I've got some good cards. Someone else might say, I have some great cards, but you can't say what you have. You can only make generalizations. So I might say, wow, I've got a really good starting hand. So you have to play at least 2. But you can play more. So I might start by going 100, 96, 94, 93, because I'm going down. On these stacks you go down, on these stacks you go up. So I've already got 3 cards out of the way, and I've got a pretty tight grouping, which is great because there's only 1 of each card, which means right now to get to 100, I'm missing 97, 98, and 99. That's 3 cards, but those could easily be played over here later, or here coming down, and someone else might have it. Now, once I played this, I might say, hey, does anybody else have any other good cards that they would want to play here? And they might say, oh, I've got a good card or a great card, but they can't say anything specific. They can't say how many digits the way they are, if they're in the next, tens group. They can't give you any specifics. The only thing they can say is generalizations. Again, like, that I have a card that's great for that. Please don't play there. Or, I really don't have anything that great. And then you have to make a judgment call. And then once you make that judgment call, do I play this 84 here? In this case, I probably wouldn't, because chances are someone else has something good. Even if they can't play here, they could play over here, and maybe I'll draw some cards that will be good. So whenever it gets back to immediately after you play, you draw back up to a full hand. So I fill this back up, and as you can see, I didn't really get anything that's that helpful. A 23, 22, and a 32, those are all too low to really help me here. And there's not really anything good on these either, because jumping all the way to 22, that's my lowest card, 1 to 22 is a big gap. That's horrendous. So if by the time it came back around to me, no one improved my situation, I would be forced to probably play an 84 and a 79 here. But there's a good chance that other people will play things that will help. The one other important thing that you need to know is you can reverse the order, the sequence, if you have an exact 10. So for example, you were going down. Let's say someone played the 22. I could play 32 and go back up the wrong way because it's exactly 10 away. That's the one way that you can really save yourself in this game, and it does make a big difference, but you can't say that you have it. All you can say is, please don't play there, I have something wonderful. You have to hope that someone doesn't think that theirs is more wonderful. But the one other thing I will say is with the expansion, you get these blue cards, and these blue cards, when you play them, the next play has to be on that card, otherwise everyone loses. So it really makes things tense, because sometimes you might end up playing this hoping that someone else is going to play something good, and they have no choice but to play there, and then it's not so good. So that adds a nice little element of tension. But this game is so simple. You're just trying to play in sequence, but it's that cooperative element where everyone is, you're all working together, but you can't fully communicate. That's what makes this game fascinating, and I like it a lot. Even with 2 players, I really enjoy this game, because trying to communicate with that other person, and as they're saying, I have a great card, you say, I have a great card, or they might say, I don't really have anything good, go ahead and play. And then you play, and they go, oh, well, mine was better than that. Well, that's the point. You don't know, and that makes for some really funny, interesting, and sometimes creepy situations. So the game, it has the same sense of Uno. You're trying to play all the cards, but you're doing it together. And in Uno, there's all this weird take that stuff. Here, there's a lot more strategy and trying to communicate and work together as a team. So the game gives me the Uno feel of wanting to get rid of all my cards, but it does it in a way that is far more enjoyable for me, and it creates tension, which is something that I really enjoy. I like that tense feeling, and I like communicating with other players, so this is a big win for me. Replayable? Oh yeah, because the way the cards come out and you're trying to negotiate with each other on who should be playing what, love that. I mean, it's always interesting and exciting. And the more players you have, it makes it even more interesting because there's more people who are, putting in their 2 cents of what they think should be played. You wait for me, or you say, no, I've got a great card, I just need to play it. And sometimes you have to play something bad, and everyone goes, oh no! It's just all these exciting moments. Strategically, yes, it's not strategy in your normal sense, but there's strategy in the sense of trying to work with your allies, and I like that a lot. The way you have to cooperate here is very fascinating and enjoyable. And finally, what do I think? Wow. I would definitely give this an 8 out of 10. It's something that I would actually recommend playing. I'd be like, you know what? Hey, let's play the game because it's quick, it's simple, but it's super fun cooperation that it just works very well for me. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can at least identify with me on why I think the game is better than Uno. You may not agree, and if you don't agree, leave down in the comments. I'd appreciate that, and I'll respond to you, and maybe we'll have a little chit-chat. But either way, if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'll get back to them, and I appreciate you watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. And if you want to see more, subscribe and see more of my videos, more other games and other opinions. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.